Good day. Good day. You're welcome to pivot tables in Excel. So today we'll be treating pivot tables. So without wasting so much time, let's just go straight to what we are going to learn today. So this is what we are going to learn. Please let me know if you are online. Okay, today we are going to look at converting data to table. Kindly say hi in the comment section if you are watching live. Okay, what we are going to learn today, we're going to learn converting data to table, the benefits of using table, creating pivot, changing pivot tables color, sorting data in a pivot table, refreshing pivot tables, changing totals in a pivot table, and creating slicers for interactive featuring and updating a pivot table. These are the topics we are going to talk about today. Iruchukwu, you are highly welcome. So these are the topics we are going to treat today. But just a recap of yesterday. You are highly welcome, Long Peter, Sodiq Balogun, Felicia Phillips. You are highly welcome. So I'm just going to recap yesterday a little because today. So I'm going to recap yesterday a little so that those who were not in yesterday's class can understand, and those who did not understand from yesterday's class can get it. So the Excel file that I sent across, the sheet 2, I'm just going to do it again. So follow me so you can see what I did that yesterday. Okay, so can you see my screen? Okay, this is the Excel that I worked with yesterday. I believe my cursor is showing now. Can you see my cursor? When I go up, it's yellow. When I come down, it's a big white cross. So this is my cursor, and this was what I did yesterday. So I'll go to sheet 2 and redo everything I did yesterday today. I'll just go and redo it again. So what I did yesterday, the first thing I did, I said you must make sure your headers are selected. So I went to the header in A1 to H1. Then I colored it. Let's see, I colored it blue. That's what I did yesterday. After coloring it blue, I made it bold. Next thing I did yesterday, we talked about filter yesterday. Previously I said when you highlight any cell and it's showing you this kind of cross, you can see my kind of cross, this kind of cross, 4 cross, you know that you want to move the cell. Are you seeing it? If it's showing you this kind of small cross, this kind of block cross, you know you want to shift it down, you want to highlight other cells. Then if it's showing you this rabbit sign, this big black cross, you know you want to fill it down. So that is how to use that. So yesterday what I did was I simply I did filter for all of them. We talked about filter yesterday. I simply went to my filter. Can you see my screen? I went to my filter. I used filter. Then immediately as I used filter, everything came up. You can see my screen. Okay, so as I used filter, everything came up. Everything I used came up. So I noticed that some empty cells have extra headers in them, and there are so many. I cannot be selecting them one after the other. What I just did, and then went on select this, and then went straight down to look for where the dates are. You seen it? I picked the dates, I brought it up, so all of them that are dates, they all showed up. As they showed up, I highlighted all the rows, all the rows. Then I right clicked, and I pressed delete. As I deleted the option, and I wrote clear from filter, and then all those dates headers that were showing in between my worksheet were no longer showing. And the next thing I did, I said, oh, units, I want them to be in whole numbers. So I just came here. I can use control to select multiple. I came to D, selected D, left click, and then selected hold my control to select column E, hold my control again to select column F, and then I simply made it whole numbers. I press this comma, and then I reduce the decimal places. That's exactly what I did. So it has cleaned all the data to whole numbers. And then I said yesterday, you can see these dates are written in numbers. It's because the formatting of the date is wrong. So I can simply change this formatting by highlighting the date and then going to this general, click on dates, short dates, and it will show you dates. It will change the format to date format. So when the format of a data is not correct, it can be misleading. Somebody can think that that is money, whereas it's not money, it's date. So it's important to make sure that when it is date and it is not written well as date, you correct it into date by changing the formatting, by going to your home ribbon, home tab, go to your number group, and you see dates as a drop down. You see general, number, currency, accounting, short date, long date, time, percentage. You see all of them. So for more formatting, you can just go to more formatting, and then you see all of the formatting here. Get it? So that's what I had also talked about that in my previous lesson. And then I said that I mentioned sum yesterday. And then I said to get, we did minimum to get the minimum amount. Maximum amount. Then to get the total sales, to count the sales, and then to get the total sales. So I'll just highlight all this one blue so that they come handy for us. I'll expand them by clicking on the line in between the column, Once you show black cross in between, then it means it's allowing me to expand. So notice the change of the mouse. That is what will determine what you want to do. This big white cross shows that you want to highlight. This one, this black arrow side crosses shows that you want to move. Then this one, black cross, shows that you want to drag down. So notice the difference. Is that okay? Are you following me? Okay. So I will just go to the minimum. What I did yesterday, I said there are some functions that are very important, that is, that is important that you know, because you might use them as often as possible. So some of the functions are the minimum amount. So to get the minimum amount, I had earlier said all functions and formulas begins with equals to. All functions and formulas begins with equals to. Okay, so I'll just press equals to and then minimum, min. Once I click min, it will show me the list of functions that are there. I'll just click min and then it will show me open bracket. In Excel it is called parenthesis. I said it yesterday, it is called parenthesis. So once it opens the bracket, then I will now select the numbers. Which minimum am I looking for? Okay, the minimum sales. No. So I'll use control space down. Control space down. I use control space down to highlight everything in the cell, and then I closed. I entered and then it showed me that the minimum is 100. Let me even see if it corresponds with this. Okay, it means there's something we didn't do. So I'll just escape. So I'll see if there are blank cells. Okay, and another thing I did yesterday, I said that this thing is showing minus. It's showing minus. We know price cannot be minus. So what we'll simply do is, we'll first of all highlight everything and we'll turn it into numbers. Okay, we've already done that. And then we'll change it that the minus will show instead. So I'll just change the custom, go to numbers, go to specific, and then change it to this. Let the minus show. What did I do? I went to numbers, more formatting, number formatting. Then in the number section, I make sure that the negative numbers is showing minus 1 2 3. So the negative minus is showing minus instead of bracket. So and then I clicked OK. So it turned everything to minus. So I'm going to remove the minus because it is actually not supposed to show minus. So I'll do Control F. That's the shortcut. Alternatively, I can just do find and select, go to home tab, go to editing group, and then you go to find and replace command. You see a list there. You can either click find or you click replace, whichever one, and then you click replace. So where there is minus, you should replace it with nothing. So I'll click minus. So it has replaced 2,690 cells. I'll just click OK. And so that's it. And then I also said yesterday that this data, I want to confirm its accuracy. So I'll add an extra column, insert column. And then what will I do? I will multiply the units by the number of price, the price by the number of units. So I'll just say A times E. That's D2 times E2. Then I do. So it's now showing me, okay, the first one is correct. So what next will I do? I would, with this cross, with this black cross, I will just double click. Once I double click, it will fill everything downward. So I'll double click. Once I double click, it has brought out the amount. So if I want to check the accuracy, like I said yesterday, is just to use this one minus this one, and then when I do it, I'll see that there are some differences. If I want to make investigation on the amount, I can make investigation on the amount, but this is not the purpose of this lesson, and we are not catching any thief here. So if maybe somebody was stealing, it's easy to know or track the person from this, to know that, oh, why is it that sales price multiplied by units is not giving me the total value of sales? Where is the money going to, and who is eating the money? How come? Those kind of stuff. So those investigative questions will now lead me eventually to the answer, to know why the sales is different from the amount that we are getting. So for the meantime, I will just delete it because I really don't need it. So I will delete it. And then for this, since this column is not accurate, so I will just move this to this place and then delete this column, since it is not relevant. So for the minimum, what I will do, okay, so what I will do is, for the minimum, I will just go equals to, and then I will just the total sales, I will press Ctrl Shift to select everything, and then up here, when it turns side arrow, when it gives me a side arrow, I will drag it so that it will start from F2, and then I will close my brackets. Okay, it's filled, so I'll do that again, equals to minimum, so now it's giving me 87, and that's exactly what we got yesterday. So for the maximum, I will just do max and then click. What I did was the same thing, Control Space. It's highlighted all the whole column, and then let me just do that again. Equals to Control Space, and then I'll just close the brackets. Okay. Oh, okay, the maximum did not select. That's what the Excel is showing me, and it's true, it didn't select. So I'll just click maximum, then click on this, Control F, and then come here when it turns a black arrow, and then drag it to F2, and then enter. So it will select. You see, the maximum amount here is 82 million. So there was a sale of 82 million, and then I want to count the total sales, that I had for for this sale transaction. So what I did was, yesterday, I'm just recapping yesterday. The video for yesterday is available. I'm recapping because because the cursor as of yesterday, many people complained that they didn't see it, so that's why I'm just recapping. It's exactly the same thing that I taught yesterday. So for the count sales, I will just simply go count. Once you type count, it will show you options for count. So I'll just click count. So what value am I counting? I'm counting, so I'll click control shift space again, and then highlight it, and then press enter. So it has shown me that for the month of, for this period, is 9,702 sales that we had. So okay, you can also say that items that were sold were 9,702 sales. That's what we had. So what about the total amount for the sales? Okay, total amount for the sales. So it will just be sum. I use sum, and then I use the same thing exactly, control space, and then when it turns a black side arrow, I watch it first though, so you don't, when it turns a black side arrow, I drag it to my F2 from, I remove it from F1, and then press enter, and then it will show me the total amount in sales. So it was 72 million. Let's confirm if it's the same with what we did. Yes, 74 million. That's exactly what we got yesterday. And then the next thing I did yesterday was states, to get the states. How do we know the states? There are so many here, so how do we know? You cannot be writing them after one after the other. What I did unique. I did equals to unique. I clicked unique, and then come here, control space. I dragged it down. I waited for the arrow to turn black side, and then I dragged it down, and then so it showed me all the states. So what I can simply do, I'll just highlight all of them, copy all of them, and come here and paste them. Right click and paste them as numbers. Are you seeing it? I'll paste them as numbers, and then come here, I'll press escape, and then delete this one. Once I delete the first cell that I worked with, everything will automatically delete. Are you seeing it? So that is how I got the states that are in this state column. So it helped me to not start writing them or searching for them one after the other. So I'll just write state here, and then total sales. So I want to know the amount of, yesterday when I talked about combining function, I want to know the amount that each state is giving me. How much am I making from each state? That is what we want to know here. So how did I do it yesterday? I did equals to sum if. Sum if is a condition, so I use sum if. If there are more than one condition, I use sum ifs. So but it's just one condition, I'll be using sum if. Sum if, which range am I selecting? I'm selecting states. I will just click H, column H, equals to, what is the criteria I'm using? I'm using the Lagos criteria. And which area am I summing? I'm summing column F. Then I just click enter or close parenthesis, and then in the cell, instead of me putting the formula one after the other, I will just go to the edge. Once it shows my all black cross, I will just drag down, and then since the numbers are together, I'll click comma inside the home tab under the number ribbons, and then click decimal, and then open it so that it can be evidence. So did we get that? Did we get that? Okay. So are we following? I want to know if we are following. Did you get what I did? So just let me know if you got what I did. Okay, Aliu James, what don't you understand? Okay, it's very confusing. Mr. Isaac said it's very confusing. Okay, like yesterday, what I said was, is one after the other, you don't do it. So that's why I gave the note yesterday. The first thing you do is you remove empty cells when you see empty cells. The next thing you do is you change the formatting. You change the formatting of the dates. And then the next thing you do, if they are, you check you use filter. You filter the header. You color the header and then filter it. When you click on the arrow under the filter, you see the options inside the filter. Once you check it, you see what is inside that filter. So if anything is not what you want to be there, like the double headers that we are repeating themselves, we saw it there. All we did was we unselected the others and we selected that one, and then okay, yeah, somebody says seeing it is different from practice. I need to try it. Yes, I recommend that you try it. That's just the best way. Try it, watch it. As you are watching it, be doing it. So it's the best way to learn it very, very fast. But if you're just watching it and you did not practice it, it will not stick as much as someone who is practicing it and doing it. So I'll just go back to the Excel. Just wanted to be sure that everybody is following. Okay, so this was what we did yesterday. So this was the summary of yesterday. So today we are going to be looking at pivot. So I'll just delete one so that I don't have multiple data. So I'll just delete this one, delete this sheet, permanently delete. So I only have one sheet. So I can rename this sheet data. I'll name it data so I know this is how my data is. So today we are going to be entering pivot table. So we have less than 30 minutes to cover everything there is to pivot tables. I tell you, pivot table is what people majorly call is the pivot table is almost like the easiest thing to make you become a data analyst. If you understand how pivot table works, you are very, very close to becoming a data analyst. So I really encourage that everybody really go through this video, especially this pivot table video, because you can't afford to miss this part. Today and tomorrow's on, at the peak, and knowing them will give you like 20 yards far away from where you used to be. So to create a pivot table, first thing first, I'm going to talk about table. What is table? Table is, this looks like a table, but this is not table. In Excel, there is what we call table, and tables are used to arrange documents in the way they should be, you know. So it helps you manage, format, and analyze the data. So for you to get the table, all you need to do is to select the data. Watch me select the data. Control O. So you can see I've selected my data. So what did I use? I just use control. I pressed my control, and I pressed anywhere in this table. You can see it's not like it is in a particular place. Anywhere I press, I can click. I can press what I want to press. That's just what it is. So I press Control and A. So when I did Control A, it selected all the data because they are together. So all. So Control A, Control plus A will select all the data. So once it selects all the data, I'll just go to my insert. Are you seeing? You see tables here. It's even the first. When you go to insert, you see tables, and then you see pivot table, recommended pivot table, tables, and form. But in this one, I will turn it everything to table. Yes, so it's not telling me where is the table to your, where is the data to your table. So if I want to select, if it is not there, it will show me that there is nothing there, but it has already shown me. So the next one is my header. My table has header. If my table does not have header, I will just click. I will just remove the click. But of course my table has header, so I will leave the click. I'll leave the good tick there, and then press OK. So you can see it has changed and transformed my data into something else. Can you see it? Table help you manage and format a data very well. It help you manage it. Like, it's one of the top knowledge that you should have and be able to make do with any form of data. Yes, you cannot see what I am pressing because Control A is on my okay, the screen is not showing again. Why? You are not seeing the table? Okay, I'll just go and do. Okay, we can't see anything now. Okay, I would do it again. Okay. But can you see my screen? Or can you see me now? Can you see me? Let me know. Can you see my face? Let me know if you are only seeing the notes. Just let me know. Can you see my face? Can you see my face? You can see my face. Okay, okay. So I'm going to start from where, like, from the table. So I'm going to show my Excel screen again so that you can see what I was saying. So can you see my Excel screen now? So what I'll do, I'll just Control Z. So Control Z means I undo what I did before. The table that I made before, I changed it so that it will not be there again. Okay, so can you see the Excel screen? Can you see the Excel screen? Let me know if you can see the Excel screen. Can you see the Excel screen? Can you see my screen? If you can see my screen, just let me know. Yes, we can see it. Oh, okay. So I will just go through it again. Control A is in my keyboard, so you will not be able to see the Control A that I'm doing, but as far as you can see my my data, so I will just tell you what I pressed on my keyboard so that you, when you want to do it, you can also press the same thing. So, or alternatively, I'll also tell you how to go about it in this place. So there's a shortcut for it. I want to select everything, this data, the whole data, because I want to convert it into a table. So it doesn't matter as far as I'm in any space around the data. Once I press Ctrl A on my keyboard, it will select everything. It will automatically select everything in my data. So the next thing I'll go to insert. I'll go to insert. Then in this place, the first one under the table group is pivot table. The next one is recommended pivot table, and then the third one is table. So I said table help you manage the data, help you organize the data, and using table is very, very important because it will give you an edge in the use of data. So I will click on table. So it will show me create table. Where is the data for your table? Is it this one that it is selecting out? And my table has header. It has a good sign already there. It has been able to identify that my table has header. But if I want to say, oh no, it doesn't have header, I will just right click on this my table has header so that this thing will not be there, and click OK. But my own has header, so I will leave the good there and then click OK. It will automatically transform my data into tables, into a table. This is how a table looks like, how a data table looks like. It helps organize, keep your data really, really, really organized. You can see how beautiful the color is. I can change the way the header looks. I can change the way the color looks. Let me say, for instance, I don't want the header again. I want to change it back to table. I can just right click and then go somewhere here. When I right click, it will show me this option: cut, copy, paste option, insert, delete, select, clear content, quick analysis, sort, filter, table. Then when I go to this table, I can convert back to range. It will convert back to the range. Are you seeing it? Do you want to convert the table back to a normal range? But I don't want to convert the table back to a normal range, so I'll just keep it at the table. Another thing that the table help do is the table has different colors and design. So you can come here and you see different color. There is light, there is medium, there is purple, blue, orange. Whichever way you want your table to appear, you can do it here. That's the beauty of using this. So as I'm using my cursor to walk around it is showing me in the form of, it is changing the color automatically. I've not pressed OK, I've not clicked anyone, I'm just moving, so it is showing me them automatically. So I will just keep it at blue, or let me leave it at purple, so that it will be beautiful. So this is how it looks. Someone said my face is more clearer than the screen. I think it's network. Maybe it's network that is trying to upload it, so it's, it's kind of, because getting signal to upload what I am doing, maybe that's why it is looking, my face is looking brighter than than my screen. Anyway, that's just by the way. So this is how the data looks, how the table looks. So changing of color, there are a lot of things you can do here. You can import a table. Import table to SharePoint list. You can import a table. You can refresh a table. So if you paste something else on top of this thing and you want to refresh, you can refresh. Are you getting it? You can convert to range. You can summarize the pivot table. Let me just click summarize. Are you seeing it? How do you want to summarize? Do you want to summarize? So this is where we are now going to go next. How to create a pivot table. So in the up of this my pivot table design, there is a table name. There's a table name. They named it table 2, but I don't want the table to be table 2, so I'll just go there and name it sales data. Sales data, that's what I will call it, my sales data. So the next thing I'm going to look at is, okay, we are going to enter pivot table. We are going to enter pivot table. So we have treated table. It's easy. One of the benefits of table is easy to filter and sort in table. It automatically expands when adding new data, so you don't have to be trying to expand all the time. So that's the advantage of data. And you can name the data just like what I did. I named the data, I gave the table name, I changed the table name, so that anywhere I am, any place I am, I can easily pick that, oh, this is the data I'm working on. So now we want to go into pivot table. So we are going to be doing all of this in a twinkle of an eye. So, but the best part of doing it is when you are seeing it physical, you are seeing it in my Excel sheet, you know that it's not as difficult as my writings are. It's not as difficult as my writings are. So I'll go back to the Excel sheets. So this is my Excel sheet, and so the next thing I want to do, all these things that I have done, I want to do it in my what do they call it, in another sheet. So I'll open another sheet and name it pivot tables, or pivot. I'll name it pivot tables, so, or pivot tables, whichever one you want to call it. So I want to create a pivot table from this. Are you getting it? I want to create a pivot table. So what I can simply do is either I say here, I come here, I go to table design, and I summarize with pivot table. So there are two ways to go about it. Either I go to pivot table, summarize with pivot table, or alternatively I will just go to insert. So what I usually do, I go to insert. That's the most frequent, my most frequent use of pivot table. I go to insert. When you go to insert, under the table group, the first one you see before table is pivot table. So I'll click pivot table. Okay, from table range. So I'll click from table range. It means this should be my table range, and then it will now show me, highlight everything. After highlighting everything, it will now show me pivot table from table or range. Select a table or range. Because I have named this table sales data, so it will now show me sales data. So choose where you want the pivot table to be placed. Is it a new worksheet or an existing worksheet? A new worksheet is automatically selected, but I don't want to create a new worksheet, so I will select an existing worksheet. So here it will now come down to tell me, once I select existing worksheet, it will now show me a space for me to select where the existing worksheet is. And I will now come to my pivot table and select this place. Once I select this place, I will now click OK. Are you seeing it? So my pivot table will now show. How many of you are seeing my pivot table? Can you see my pivot table? Can you see my pivot table? This is my pivot table. Immediately I click on my pivot table, I will see pivot table field by the side. It's showing me the headers of the table that I selected. Name, sales data, sales rep, product, price, unit, total sales, city. So what do I want to find? I want to find the date. Are you seeing it? So it has shown me the year. That, oh, the year. It has now shown me 2013. This is 2014 and 2015. So it has shown me, it has automatically selected the year for me. So I can now go, okay, how much did I make in 2013? How much did I make in 2014? And how much did I make in 2015? So what can I do? The next thing I can do is, I don't want, and then it showed me as year, custom quarter. In the row section, there is year, there is quarter, there is month, there is date, and I don't want it to show me that. I just want it to show me just year. So I'll remove the year. I'll remove. So it's not showing me quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4. Is it quarter that I want to see? I can say no. What I do is, from the row, from the pivot table field, once I click on the quarter, I will hold and drag up. That is how to remove anything from this field. I will hold and drag up. It will now automatically show me month. If I say no, I don't want month, I can hold and also drag up. It will now show me days, but I say I don't want to show days, I can hold and drag up. That is how to unselect different things in pivot table. But this one, what do you think? What would you want us to see in this? What would you want to see? Do you want us to use year, month, or quarter? I want to hear from you, you. So what would you want us to use? Year, month, quarter? So what would you want us to use? What would you want us to use? Year, month, or quarter? So what would you want us to use? You can just say year or month or quarter. I will know which one you want us to use. Then I will tell you which one. Oh yeah, somebody said year. Okay, yeah, okay. So we are going to use year. We already have year. Okay, we are going to use year. And then I'm going to show you how you are going to change the summation under pivot tables. So we'll just dive straight right in back. So to use year, what I will just do, I will just click here. Are you seeing it? Only years are showing. But I also like months to show. I want months to also show so that I know, oh, okay, which months are doing well. So I can hide this month under the year. So I'll just go month under the year. So, or let me just remove the month. So then how much did we make for each year? Then once I click total sales, it will just show me the total amount we make for the year. Then what I do, I'll go to home and then make it, you know, whole numbers, and then so that it has a, what do they call it, comma, and the decimal places are reduced. So it has shown me the year. So it means it is in 2015 that we made so much money. So another thing we are going to do is, apart from that, we want to also see which product is selling better. Which product is selling better? So we are going to go here. We are going to create another pivot table. So to create a pivot table, I've told you before, when you come here, you click insert, you click pivot table, it will automatically show you. So you click existing workbook, then come to your pivot table and then position it where you want it to be, and then click OK. So now it has shown me the amount, the pivot table field. So the next thing I want to do, like I said, I want to show it by products. Which product is doing well? Products. And then these are the list of products that I have in the data sheet. It has automatically showed me all the list. Then once I click total sales, then it will show me. What I do, I will just highlight everything and then go to the home, put a comma to them, and reduce the decimal places. So it means, whoa, so the best performing products in this company is Titus sardine, and it's producing a revenue of 16 million, followed by golden penny spaghetti, followed by cabin biscuits, picnic, followed by indomie, followed by clean detergents, followed by Milo chocolate. So in the order, that is what is showing. And I said, oh, it's not only this one that I want to see. I want to see another thing, and that is which city, which state is performing well, just like what we had seen here. Instead of using sum if equals to sum ifs to complicate, pivot table will just be the help to reduce the excess complication. So I will just go to data, back, go to insert, then create a pivot table, and then existing sheets. Then I go to my existing sheet before I click OK. Then I come here, I'm giving 3 space, and then I click OK. It will show me field. So like I said, I want to know which state and city is performing well, because I only use one state per city. So I'll use states which state is performing well, state. So it has shown me the number of states. Another thing I want to do is I want it to show me how much each state is performing, just like what we had earlier done in the previous lesson. So I'll just put total sales. You can see it is still showing me exactly this, that sum formula that I used that time. It's a long process to start doing sum if, to start thinking sum if, instead of doing unnecessary sum if. It has shown me the data. I can filter, you know, I can filter from A to Z. I can filter more filter, you know. I can filter this too. So pivot table analyze, you can change pivot table colors here. You go to design in the ribbon automatically, because you created a pivot table design and pivot table analyze will show up at the top of the pivot table. So pivot table analyze and pivot table design. So with the design you can create the design you want. You can also change it, the sum. You can also change how you want the sum to appear. Once you right click, you can change summarize by there is value, there is count, there is average, there is max, there is mean, there is product. Are you seeing it? So it's easy, like what we did yesterday. Instead of doing max and this thing, we can just simply create another. You can create another pivot table by copying the previous table and just changing the. So I'll just copy here and then come here and paste here and then change the what I want to see there. So what I want to see is the sum range. I want to see the minimum for each year. So I'll use the maximum for each year. So it's now showing me that it was even in 2025 that we made the 2015 that we made the 82 million naira. So I can also come here and say, okay, show me the minimum. So I can also copy, Ctrl C and Ctrl V, and then just go here and change the what I want to see. Go to summarize, right click, and then when it shows you the tab, go to summarize value by, and then change it to minimum. So I'm able to see, whoa. So you can imagine the minimum sales that happened in 2015 is 48 million. Can you imagine? Which is a whole lot. Are you seeing it? So that is how to. So the minimum sales that happened all through the 3 years is happened in 2015. So now the grand total, which is the most minimum, is 87. So you can see how it works. So the next thing we are going to go, do you understand before I continue? And okay, somebody said months. Do you understand what I am saying? Okay, I have people saying month and year. Okay, so I can as well go back to add months. That's the beauty of pivot table. I will just add month here, and once I click this plus, it will show me months. But I don't want it to stress me. I don't like stress in this life. I don't want stress, anything that will stress me. I can just come here, pivot table analyze, and the field, where is the field? Trying to go to the no, I'm trying to check for the this one. The subtotal is do not show total at the top, do not show total at the bottom, do not show total at the side. This grand total is off for rows, like you don't want it to show in the rows, you don't want it to show in the column. This one you can. So I want to show in tabular form. So once I click, oh, you can notice it did not show. It's supposed to show months like this, but it did not show because there's a data down. So what I can do is I can move this data. I can move this data to this place so that it can show. Are you seeing it? January is showing. We cannot complete the action for pivot 1 in the sheet because there is already an existing pivot table space. Are you seeing it? So even though I had removed this pivot table, okay, there's another pivot table space. Okay, so what I can do is I can remove this one too to come here. So I would now press the plus. Are you seeing it? How did I get this month? I will repeat that again. I went to the pivot table field, I added month, I clicked month. Once I clicked month, it automatically went to the row section of the pivot table field, and then I went to the pivot table and design, the layout. I now clicked show in tabular form. That's what I did. Show in tabular form. So it now showed me in tabular form. So then the plus in 2015, I also clicked it, so it now showed me. Oh, so now I know that 2013 the month of sales was January to December. 2014 the month of sales was from January to December. 2015 the month of sales is January to August. Are you seeing it? So pivot table is a very powerful tool used for analyzing items. So it is very good. So another thing I want to teach us is pivot table slicer. Pivot table slicer, and that is a very amazing tool. So I will just reduce this 2013. I want just the year to show. So pivot table slicer. So how do I get a pivot table slicer? I'll go to insert tab, then under filter group. Can you see where my cursor is? Under filter group, then there is something called slicer. Then I'll click on slicer. Then it will show me all the header of the table, all the header of the table that I am using currently. So date, sales rep, units, product, price, total sales, city, state, month, year and quarter. So what I will now do is, so this is what this thing is showing me. I want it to show me everything that I have here. So I want to do slicer for everything. So what I did was date, year. I'm doing a slicer for year, and then I'll click OK. Are you seeing it? So so I can edit this slicer up. So I'll go to check reports. Which table is this slicer connecting to? It's connecting to table 1, only table 1, and I want it to connect to table 1, only table 1. Okay, yeah, let me leave it in only table 1. But is it good if it's only table 1? No, I want it to also connect to table 2, table 3, pivot table 4, pivot table 5. In fact, all the tables that I have in this place, so that when I click 2013, it will automatically show me the sales that happened in 2013 under the product, the sales that happened in the product, the state, and then it will also show me the minimum and the maximum. Are you getting it? So let me click on 2013, let me click on 2014. Are you seeing it? So everything is changing. 2015, everything is changing. So 2013, are you seeing it? So pivot table also has slicer, also have design. You can choose purple, you can choose any color you want to choose. There are designs here for your choice. I'll just leave it as blue since my first color is blue. So this is it. So as I'm clicking any one, all of them are changing. As I'm clicking any one, but this one is not changing. This one is not changing. This one is not changing. This what do they call it? This table is not changing. I'll check the table name. Table 3 is not changing. Why is it not changing? So I'll go to report connections under slicer. Oh, you see, I did not click table 3. That's why table 3 is not showing. So I'll just click table 3 and then table 3 begins to show. So once I click 2013, all of them begins to synchronize. 2014, everything begins to synchronize. So it means in 2014, the sales that were sold for individual products and the states that sold those products and the maximum and minimum. So that is how slicers are done. So to make sure to return it back to all the years, I'll just click this minus at the edge of the slicer, this one that has a red cross. I'll just click it and then all the years will return to themselves. So that is how to return it. So I can just simply edit this pivot table slicer. Okay, let me just. So another thing we can create is we can create this pivot table for the total for the product. I want to click the product and then the pivot table, the slicer will appear. So I'll click the table and the slicer will appear. So I'll just go again, insert tab, and then under the filter group I'll click slicer. And then what am I using to slice? What am I slicing? I'll click product and then the slicer option comes up. Are you seeing it? Slicer option comes up for the product. So the product now has a slicer. So anytime I click on biscuits, let's say I want to click on the year, I'll say, oh, biscuits, I want only biscuit to show, I want cornflakes to show, custard, like that, it will automatically show. But is it connected to all the sheets? No, it's not connected. So I want it to also be connected to all the sheets. So how do I do that? How do I connect it? I'll go to pivot table, the slicer, then I go to report connections, and then when you click on slicers, the group under slicer is slicer style, arrange, buttons, and size. Under the slicer, you see report connection. So the report connection, once you click on it, it will report connections product. So you click, it will give you the name and the sheets, the name of the tables and the sheets they are. So I'll click on the table 1, table 2. I want it to be connected to all the tables so that when I make any adjustment, it will automatically pick in all the tables. Are you seeing it? So once I click cornflakes, once I click product, once I click, are you seeing it? It is automatically refreshing all the sheets. That is how it works. So then I'll just click the minus, the times, like a red times at the top of the product slicer. It will show me everything. Another one I want to create is I want to create it by state. I want to know, okay, the slicer by state. So what can I do? I would also go to insert, and then under the filter group I'll go to slicer, and then what will I do? I will now click state. only state, then it will now show me the name of all the states. So after showing me the name of all the states, what will I do? I will just, it will show me the slicer at the top. It will add a ribbon for me, a slicer tab, and then I will just go to report connections and make sure that all of them are connected together. All of them, like this state is connected to all of them. So that will be it. And then once I click Bonu, you see everything will adjust themselves. Everything, it becomes dynamic. It becomes dynamic. So any state I click, it really becomes dynamic. So that is where we'll end for today's lesson. So once I click the minus, it shows me everything. So I'll send this sheet to you. So but this is mine, this is what I did. So I want you to continue from here and create your own, or from yesterday's own, yesterday's as practice. So you can use my sheet 1, the sheet 1 that I gave you, to create it. You can use my sheet 1 to create it. So like I said, from yesterday's Excel practice that I gave you, the sheet 1 was the one I did. Sheet 2 was what I said you should do. For those who did the sheet 2 yesterday, so you did your practice yesterday, well done, I'm proud of you. For those who did not do it and you want to do it, you can just use it from that yesterday's zone and do your own. Or alternatively, the sheet 1 table, the sheet 1 data that I have done, you can just use it to create pivot table. First of all, convert it into table, and then the next thing, you convert it into pivot tables. Then you create your own slicers. So I want to see how dynamic your slicer is. I really want to see how dynamic your slicer is, because at the end of tomorrow's class, I want you to post it online. Let the whole world see how talented you have become. Let the whole world see how intelligent you have become, and how much you know Excel, and how you can make use of dynamic. And everybody will be wondering, whoa, wow, so you mean you can do dynamic tables, you can do data analysis. Data analysis is not so hard. It's just the basic understanding and how to make use of it. And so that is all you need to know about starting your journey in data analytics. So that will be all for today's lesson training. If you have not subscribed, kindly subscribe. If you have not subscribed, kindly subscribe, and then hit the notification bell for more information regarding trainings that we'll be having, and so that you are abreast concerning any training or videos that I may likely upload on this channel. So that will be all, and that will be the end of today's lesson. So bye for now. Bye.